In the rap game, diss tracks are replied with diss tracks, and hits by ops are replied with more brutal hits. Lil Durk has lost quite a number of his OTF crew members to the harsh reality of street life. The rapper even lost his own blood brother in 2020. OTF has known ops in the Chicago area, and it seems like they've been hitting Lil Durk pretty hard these past years. In this video, we'll be taking a look at why Lil Durk wants to get revenge for the death of his brother, DThang. Stick around to the end so you don't miss out on any detail. Lil Durk's brief bio.
Durk Banks, 20 years old, Chicago, Illinois.
The presence of Lil Durk in the Chicago rap scene was a real game changer. The rapper's focus on melody and a unique sound made the 2010 Chicago hip-hop what it was. What's truly remarkable is how well he has carved out a niche for himself and his extended musical family in the scene.
We used to just be our main little circle. We would just say OTF. We used to just say only the family, but it was too much, so we just started saying OTF. And as this rap stuff was going on, that's when Recino came up with GB, and I just brought it back upon OTF.
Durk made a name for himself in the rap scene with the mixtape Life Ain't No Joke, and from then on, the rapper has been on a steady rise. His big break came in 2020 after being featured on Drake's single, Laugh Now, Cry Later. Over the past few years, Lil Durk's career has been riddled with lawsuits and gang-related beef.
The rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial.
The prolific rapper hails from O Block, one of the most dangerous blocks in Chicago. On maps, it's the 6400 block of South Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. For drill fans, the name O Block will sound familiar because it's a common reference for Chicago rappers like Lil Durk, King Von, and Chief Keef. Gang members named the street O Block after 20-year-old Odie Perry, who was gunned down just around the corner. Growing up without a father, Lil Durk and his siblings had it tough. He even said in an interview with The Guardian that he recalls going hungry at home on some days. It wasn't easy growing up, so young Durk Derek Banks turned to the streets. To date, Lil Durk is associated with a set of the Black Disciple street gang known as OTF 300 or just 300. And living that kind of life comes with its consequences. The death of OTF Nunu, Lil Durk's cousin, known off stage as MacArthur Swindle, was one of the first hits people say was a result of the gang affiliations Lil Durk had. Keep watching this video to see how the rapper's gang affiliations also cost him his brother's life. The death of OTF Nunu. OTF Nunu was killed back in 2014. He was sitting in an SUV in a parking lot in the 700 block of East 87th Street when an unknown gunman came up to the car and fired shots at him. Swindle was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, no one has been charged for his death, and several reports claim the incident appears to be gang-related. This sad death of OTF Nunu is one in a series of tragic events that led to the end of DThang.
You got some tattoos done?
Yeah.
Hey, we take a look at them?
Newski, RP Pat.
How'd you feel when you heard about the news?
Like regular, it's like regular, fucked up, emotional as hell.
How many of your friends do you think you lost to violence? You know?
Like 20.
The death of OTF Chino. Following the death of his cousin was the death of Lil Durk's manager, Uchina Agina, known to friends as OTF Chino. According to several news reports, Chino was sitting in his car outside of a restaurant when unknown shooters approached and fired shots into the vehicle. Several Reddit users are of the opinion that OTF Chino was killed by someone called Melly. However, that's all under speculation, and there have been no official arrests. The death of Chino marks another notable death of members of Lil Durk's inner circle. The death of OTF Nunu and OTF Chino Dollar is rumored to be related. Stick around till the end of this video to find out how all these events are connected. In his career as a drill rapper, Lil Durk has made a lot of money, friends, and enemies. But like people always say, the enemies you don't know are the most dangerous. Lurking in the corner as Lil Durk rose to fame is Yarmel Melly Williams. Melly was a well-known gang member in the streets of Chicago. His name on the streets wasn't attached to rapping or sports. His fame came from the work he put in and the way he moved on the South Side. Melly had several ties to the streets and knew loads of well-known people from the South Side and East Side. At the time, Lil Durk was gaining more fame, and as is typical for drill rappers, the rapper was also dissing his ops, both dead and alive. This pissed Melly off because he knew Lil Durk wasn't really about that life, so he wanted to show him how it was done for real, and his victims were OTF Chino and OTF Nunu. There may be no police report about this, however, internet chatter seems to support this version of the story, which hints that there's some truth there. Melly was eventually shot dead at a Chicago party inside Woodlawn Homes. The unknown assailant was never caught, but just like you guessed, Lil Durk is rumored to be connected to the death of Melly. It's important to remember that this is based on speculation, and there are no reports that back these claims. The death of DThang. Most recently, Lil Durk experienced a monumental loss when his older brother OTF DThang was killed. Stick around to the end of the video to catch every detail on why Lil Durk wants revenge for the death of his brother. OTF DThang, Lil Durk's older brother, was known as one of the most promising up-and-coming rappers in Chicago. Even though DThang did not see as much mainstream success as Lil Durk, he loved music and his fans loved his music. The rapper had a couple of hits like G's Box, Bunny Hop, Caution, and Wildin' for Respect. His latest release was Play It Back, which was only released about a week before he was killed. The late rapper was set to release another song titled Play With My Heart. The news of his passing sent shockwaves throughout the music industry, but his life was celebrated by many friends, loved ones, and fellow artists. According to the reports from Cook County officials, DThang, whose real name is Dante Banks Jr., was shot outside of Club O, a strip club in the 7900 block of South Loomis Boulevard in Chicago. The rapper was shot in the head and died at the scene. Just before the shooting, a police officer observed a patron at the strip club holding a gun. An altercation ensued, and the officer sustained a gunshot wound from an unidentified suspect. It was around this time that the rapper was shot and killed. Later on in the night, police responded to a deadly shooting in the 100 block of West 155th Street. The victim, Seneca Price, was fatally shot and pronounced dead at South Suburban Hospital. According to police reports, the shooting may have been in retaliation. The death of his brother was a huge hit for Lil Durk, and even though he didn't say much when the news broke out, several people believe it was because his revenge might have been swift. The speculation of the police can be wrong. Nevertheless, we can notice a pattern with those who have tried to hurt Durkio's inner circle. And usually it involves yellow tapes and cop cars. So it won't be far-fetched to assume that whoever killed DThang was undoubtedly attracted to the wrath of Lil Durk. But with the hit so close to home, Lil Durk's ops didn't take a break in taunting him. Popular rapper and social media troll 6ix9ine took the opportunity to make fun of Lil Durk. In response to a headline on DJ Academic's IG, 6ix9ine mocked the Chicago rapper. He commented, "At Lil Durk, tell the truth about your gang, man, they really dying." But he didn't stop there. He went on to drop other disrespectful comments across social media. Under one of Durk's posts promoting his Voice of the Heroes merch, the notorious trolls commented, "Your brother just died and you want to sell sweaters," along with several laughing emojis. In another comment, he added, "Time to smoke a new pack. It's like every week. I didn't even finish enjoying smoking Vine yet. Y'all dying too fast." This comment was referring to King Von, known off stage as Davon Bennett. Von was Lil Durk's label mate and close friend. The rapper was killed after a violent confrontation outside an Atlanta nightclub escalated into a deadly shootout outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in downtown Atlanta. The death of King Von. King Von was on the verge of a breakout after he released his third album, Welcome to O Block, which was Von's second album of 2020 after LeVon James. He began rapping when he was in jail on a murder charge at 19. Fortunately for him, those charges were dropped. The rapper was signed to Lil Durk's Only the Family label. The two also happened to be childhood friends. After his death, Durk wrote of his friend on Instagram, "My twin gone." Several news outlets speculate that the shooting involved a dispute between King Von and another Atlanta rapper named Quando Rondo. Before the shooting, it was almost impossible to figure out if King Von and Quando Rondo had any beef. But what we do know is that they move in different circles. King Von was signed with rapper Lil Durk, and Quando Rondo was signed to NBA YoungBoy's label. Because they were so close to these more experienced rappers, it's possible that the beef between King Von and Quando Rondo was actually tied to their relationships with Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy. After taking out his manager, one of the most promising talents signed to OTF, his cousin, and even his brother, it seems like his ops are after Lil Durk now. It's not surprising that Lil Baby want to get revenge for all these painful tragedies, as it is on the streets, an eye for an eye. Lil Durk's home invasion. Sometime in July this year, several unidentified individuals broke into Lil Durk's home in the Atlanta suburbs while the rapper and his girlfriend, India Cox, were at their residence in the Chateau Elan neighborhood of Brazelton. Upon entering into the residence, the couple exchanged fire with the intruders in true Bonnie and Clyde fashion. The two managed to hold down their fort, and the intruders fled the scene before cops arrived. Updates from DJ Academics reported that Lil Durk's residence in Atlanta had heavy police presence and was possibly raided due to an investigation about a shooting and other crimes. After the entire incident, Lil Durk posted a cryptic message on his IG story saying, "Nobody should know everything you do because they play. They roll off what you do, how you move, and what you got." A statement that suggests that nobody should know your every move as they could use it against you. No one knows what the intentions of Lil Durk's ops were since the intruders have not been found and no further reports have been made about the incident. But most people are assuming it's a preventative strike in a bid to get Lil Durk before he gets the opportunity to avenge the death of all his friends and family. So far, Lil Durk has stayed out of trouble, but for how long will that last? Let's hope the Chicago superstar stays around to keep dropping dope tracks. And for his fallen family, RIP.